everybody! It's me, Gilbert Gottfried, back from the dead, here reading the intro to the Murder Schmurder podcast. You're alone in your living room. The lights are off. The muted blue glare of the TV reminds you just of how helpless you really are. Thunder shrieks, the wind howls, and the attic creaks. A knock at the door surprises you.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
You stand up as the door crashes open, and the Murder Schmurder crew enters your home.
Oh, yeah.
They yell jokes, pop culture references, and start mansplaining. What the fuck does that mean? I come back to life for 2 years, and we've already invented new words. What's mansplaining? Who wrote this fucking script? Anyways, they start mansplaining some of the most vile true crimes you've ever heard of. You listen to them, unsure at first, but relax into it. Pretty soon you're laughing, horrified and strangely turned on. At some point, they realize they've forgotten to introduce themselves. The assholes. Make room in your heart for the assholes. Grit, Jaime, Austin, Carlton, Joseph, and the friends, lovers, and or acquaintances they pressure into hanging out. Like your creepy uncle who may not have diddled you in your past.
Hey, you wanted to try that thing we did last weekend again?
Make room for Murder Schmurder.
Alrighty, boys. I think we're ready
right now.
Welcome to another episode of Murder Schmurder. Another episode.
We didn't get canceled yet?
We're still going?
Baby. Okay.
Awesome.
Today's host is moi, Jaime.
Moi means you.
I am joined here by the wonderful, beautiful, very intelligent Grant.
Oh, that's sweet. I thought you were going to go with someone else. Intro.
I was like, here's my moment.
Grant. The sexy, delicious, tall glass of milk in my life. Austin.
Yes!
He said
Fuck
tall.
you guys.
You're the tallest person here.
That's true. You are the tall one.
I am the tall one and the handsome one.
Oh, okay. He's the tall, cute one.
Wonderfully smart.
Also very humble.
Not very well educated. Joseph.
I thought you were going to say me again, which would have been fucking hilarious.
He's not technically wrong. He's correct. I had a very bad education. I didn't let it keep me down.
We went to the same school. Don't say that. And also, my newest friend, our newest guest, Drew.
Hi.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, fucking do.
I don't know about you, Drew, but I feel a little let down by our intros. I feel like it's like here the illustrious, velvety, smooth, dulcet Grant Bramlett, and the incredibly just masculine, always by your side, best pal Austin. And here's Joseph and Drew, some fucking losers we found outside.
Yeah, that's fucking.
I'd call you the elusive Joseph.
Elusive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Makes me sound more mysterious
Fucking
than I
always slipping away from me.
am.
Where are you from?
Yeah, stop it.
Where are you from?
It's Tennessee.
I'm from right here, boy.
This house?
I'm a local boy, y'all.
You're from this house? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm from Alabama, so it makes sense that I got thrown in the
Congratulations.
garbage. But
Yeah.
you, I don't understand.
You got to filter through the garbage a little
I don't
bit.
understand. I don't know. You're
You're from
above
Alabama.
that.
And
I appreciate that. You too.
we got 3 Nashvillians.
Let's rise above,
and
right?
2 Alabamans.
Whoa, there's 3 Nashvillians in this room?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Damn.
That never happens.
Right.
Y'all better calm down.
Yeah.
seriously.
About to damn that Crimson Tide. Fuck y'all.
Hey.
Go Big Orange.
I know.
Okay, so
I mean,
before
I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
we dive into today's true crime, I want to cover some news that I thought was just like I came across today, and I was just like, this is just too good. We have to cover this.
Breaking news. I love it.
Breaking news. So, is everyone here familiar with the comic strip and animated show Dilbert.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going.
I don't. Lay it on me.
Oh, this is good. So
This is some good stuff.
this guy named Scott Adams, he's the creator of Dilbert.
I never liked it.
I actually really did. I don't know if you saw the
I thought it stopped in the 80s, but apparently it's like
Hey, when this news broke, I thought the guy was dead. I just assumed that it was a very old.
he's got a Twitter.
That's crazy.
I would not
Sorry.
expect
and a YouTube account. So this is where it gets good. Drew, are you familiar with this? Mm-hmm. Okay. So anyway, Scott Adams. For the record, I like Dilbert. In fact, there was an animated show. I really enjoyed it. He has a YouTube account, and apparently there was a poll done asking the question, is it okay to be white? Apparently in this poll, 20% of Black Americans pretty much said no. Or no, 25% said no, and 21% said they are unsure. Now, this is what Scott Adams, for whatever reason, decided to post on YouTube.
Okay. He's white, by the way.
He's white, very white.
The name's Scott Adams.
Just in case you weren't sure.
The guy named Scott Adams, creator of Dilbert, is white. If anybody's surprised by that.
Named Dilbert, white.
Okay, guys, you ready?
Yeah.
Even the dog in Dilbert is white.
I don't want to have anything to do with them.
Now, also, to be clear here, in the wake of this, some have criticized
White people, according, nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll. Not according to me, according to this poll. That's a hate group. It's a hate group. I don't want to have anything to do with them.
Oof. Hold on. Big oof. Hold on. Did he say that? Hold on, but can I just...
It gets better.
Away from black people. Just get the fuck away. There's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population.
with the creator of Dilbert going on to say neighborhoods with higher concentrations of black people have more problems and a lower quality of living. Also saying that he's sick of seeing videos of black people beating up non-black people and that every time he tries to help black America, he just gets called a racist, so he's done trying.
So I think it makes no sense whatsoever as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore.
So all of that goes viral, and in response, hundreds of Dilbert syndicators and major newspapers from the Chicago Tribune and the
I didn't know it was
Times,
this
the San
hard.
Francisco Chronicle, the Washington Post, they dropped the comment. And just like that, after 3 decades, done, gone. And
And why anyone thought to ask the creator of Dilbert about this probably dumb poll bullshit. Like there's no telling who they interviewed, how they interviewed them.
Right. You don't know who they interviewed. You don't know how many people they interviewed.
Hang on. Hold up. And this is the piece de resistance to everything.
It's still go. It's still.
It gets
It's
better.
still going.
It doesn't get worse. It gets better. So, like Joseph said, he has a Twitter. And in response to all this backlash, this is what he said on his Twitter account. Quote, I've lost 3 careers to direct racism so far. Crocker Bank, Pacific Bell, and cartooning. All 3 were perpetrated by white people for their own gain. No black person has ever discriminated against me. That's partly why I identified as black for several years.
What?
Yes.
I didn't know about all that. Now.
Black is a state of mind, baby. According to Scott Adams, it's all in the head, baby.
My God.
Just like we talked about, if you don't like a reality, you can make up your own.
I guess.
And you can be black in it.
You know? Yeah.
You can be black. Your penis is immune. Like, dude, are you telling me that I could be black with an immune penis just because I say so?
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
You could be doing that right now.
I am currently.
Whoa.
Wait.
And before my eyes.
Immune penis.
Oh, you don't know about this.
I don't know. Jeez.
Austin thinks he's immune to pretty much everything.
Because your penis.
I'm just immune.
Is it no? Is it you think your penis is immune or you are?
I am immune.
Yeah, this is Scott Adams' new drop.
Scott Adams in his mind.
No, it's an old inside joke.
Sorry.
Not that old.
Sorry, I cracked.
It feels
into
ancient.
that.
No.
No, they're just baffled at my lack of use of condoms.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, like a normal person would be.
Not really.
Do you have to make us sound like idiots? They're baffled by my lack of use of condoms.
It's more like you have the luck of the devil.
Well, they think that I never use them. I use them. I just don't use them every time.
You cannot remember the last time you wore a condom.
Just for the sake of the show, baby.
See, you say that.
It's all for entertainment, baby.
Listen,
That's showbiz, baby.
Hey, man. Condoms, they're all up here.
Condoms are a state of mind.
Condoms are a state of mind.
In my head, I'm black and wearing 8 rubbers, baby.
Listen, we could have a full episode dedicated to my science behind it, but we're here to talk about true crime.
We're here to get into Jamie's topic.
Okay. So, now that we have that out of the way, couple things I need to discuss real quick as we dive into my story. Now, you may be thinking to yourself that, we're a bunch of hacks, and we are. There is that. But by literal terms, we are professionally funny. In the sense, professional meaning that you are paid to do X, Y, Z. So we have been paid to make people laugh. So
Which we did. For the record,
We got paid.
we got paid and we made people laugh.
It bought me my gas on the way home, but we got paid.
It got Austin broken up with and paid for his gas.
Half of his tank.
Fucking worth it.
So that being said, true crime, not exactly the easiest thing to make funny. It's not easy. So
That's just how good we are.
that's how good we are. Okay, so, when I'm trying to pick a true crime story to cover, I kind of have to do some light work on the front end, making sure this can be funny enough to make it work. I came across one guy named John Wayne Gacy, who's otherwise known as the Killer Clown.
John Wayne, you thought you could make John Wayne Gacy I mean,
I saw Killer
people
Clown.
do it.
I saw Killer Clown, and I was like, Clown? It's got to be hilarious. There's got to be some comedy.
I just like that. It feels like you were like,
yeah, clowns are terrifying, asshole.
well, it feels like Jamie was like, well, who can I make funny? And instead of kind of going for a middle one to kind of warm up to, he's just like, I'm just going to go to the guy who rapes and murders children.
Dude, that's what I was like, Killer Clown, this has got to be
Before he does, though.
33 boys raped, tortured, and murdered.
Oh, the lead singer.
Before he does,
ICP,
though,
right?
Does he go, honka, honka? Does the honka honka become before or after the raping?
Ooh,
does he
is it like the death curdle?
Or is it during?
So
does he cut their dick off and then blow it up like a balloon animal and just
in short,
and the monkey.
I'm reading more and more into the
topic.
story. No, I was reading more and more into the story, being like, okay, I don't think I can make this work. So I dropped that one. And I picked this one. Lee is her nickname. Her name is Eileen, but she goes by.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
In the first episode, I covered one of the most prolific male serial killers. In this one, I thought it'd be good to do one of the most prolific female serial killers.
Yeah,
love it.
for sure.
hashtag
Love it.
feminism.
Yeah.
Right. They're crazy too.
Black Widow lady?
No. Eileen Wuornos was a little bit different.
Yeah, this one.
She's
She was built different.
Dude, this
name's ringing a bell.
This story
I'm
is
built different.
like a forge.
She kind of was.
okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, okay.
She kind of was physically.
Big clip energy, or
Just
I mean, I never saw her clip.
okay. Oh God.
can we say clip on the
She has
air?
some Zowie mamas.
Zooey mamas
I'm sorry, did she have some Zowie mamas?
Okay, so
or gagongas?
Or are they more like honkers?
first to talk about Eileen
Honkers
or Lee,
gagongas, zooey mamas?
I want to say there's a YouTube channel called quote unquote Real Crime, and they have a 43-minute video on who I'm about to cover, and it's titled Eileen Wuornos, the most cunning female serial killer / world's most evil killers / real crime. That being said, I want you to have this definition in mind, and then I'll have a question for you at the end, which is, well, I'll go ahead and drop the question, which is, do you think she's a serial killer? So,
So far, I'm only thinking that was a really clunky title for that YouTube video.
yeah, it is clunky, but I guess they're just trying to get all like the keywords, like, you know, like
The
serial
most-
killer, most cunning,
Cunning, evil, dastardly,
Linguist.
Okay, a serial killer. A person who commits a series of murders, often with no apparent motive and typically following a characteristic, predictable behavior pattern.
Run that one more time, just so everybody is very clear.
A person who commits a series of murders, often with no apparent motive and typically following a characteristic of predictable behavior patterns.
Okay.
Is that Webster's or like the DSM or like a FBI profiling handbook or
Fuck Google, bro.
I think it's
Google.
I think it's the DMV.
is Google?
It's the DMV.
I was
it's
going
the
to say, is
DMV.
that,
So,
is
I
that
want-
the Urban Dictionary?
As you're listening to this, I want you to try and decide if you think she's an actual serial killer.
Okay.
I mean, this is a good one though. I mean, because of circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good one.
So, okay. This one, I don't want to start with the actual crime because if anything, that might actually be the least chaotic part of this entire story. In fact, the crimes themselves are pretty tame comparatively to the rest of her life. So,
Oh yeah, she's got that movie made about her with
in
Charlize
fact,
Theron.
yes. So,
It is.
is that the one where she's got like no eyebrows?
Yeah, and she got
Yeah.
little chubbers.
Yeah.
the
And
more-
everyone was like so brave.
So if anyone hasn't seen the movie movie's
Murphy.
titled Monster.
Yes.
It is
never actually watched
fantastic. It's a great movie.
It paints her in a very sympathetic light.
If you hear the rest of her story, the movie does wonders in being very true to life and very much like very sympathetic. But like when you hear her story out, you're like, oh, this is just a really messed up person who just never had any sort of luck. Like Forrest Gump is the dumbest person in the world and had the best luck in the world. Imagine just a person who never had any sort of luck.
Yeah, I mean, she was
sort of driven to that point, right?
Yeah.
It essentially is what it's going
Right.
to come down to.
I mean, and
so
she's like born into nothing,
yeah,
and it never gets better.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like a perpetual fuck my
okay,
life.
so okay, so just to give you an idea, she was arrested on January 9th, 1991 in Daytona Beach, Florida, specifically for the murder of 6 men. She did, in fact, murder 7, but the 7th body was never found.
That's right. You gotta eat it.
Probably fed it to the gators.
With each of my episodes, I like to add the facts, but my own conjecture and thoughts, this being no different. So let us first
Great
start off
disclaimer.
at the very beginning. Lee's mother, Diane, was 14 when she married Eileen's father when he was 18.
Like you should be.
Florida. Got it.
Yeesh.
Yep.
I think this is Ohio.
And
like
they-
she moves to Florida in the end.
Ohio.
All right.
If I remember, it's Ohio.
Go Buckeyes.
I'd say that's the Florida of like the Midwest.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
like you're living in Florida and you're like, I
Northeast.
want this but less warm. Let's go to Ohio. You're like, cool, this sucks too.
Yeah. Their
So-
rivers catch on fire.
Diane gives birth
They do now.
to her first
Thanks,
child.
Biden and Trump.
Thanks, Obama.
Topical. No, it's cool. We've just got a mini Chernobyl happening where they grow all of our food
and
water,
nobody's talking
and the
about
river
it.
basin that feeds into the fucking like all the other rivers. And there's a thing called the water cycle, which means it's going to go around.
Nothing to see here.
Real quick.
Move along, Ukraine.
So I bartended up. Prices, stupid.
Yeah.
A double shot of Jack. So if you want a Jack Coke, is $32.
Oh my.
What? Are you kidding me?
This guy orders a Jack and Coke. He gives me his card, and I run it, and he goes $32, and I was like, that's the price. And he goes, fucking Jesus Christ, thanks Biden, and then just takes the ticket, throws it on the ground, and walks off. And I was like, that was so entertaining. I'm not even mad.
Thank you. I needed that.
That was almost worth not getting a tip.
Yeah, I was like,
I have material now, so
This is good.
Anyway, her mother gives birth to the first child, and then gives birth to Lee at 16.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice mature age.
Lee actually never meets her father. Her father actually was imprisoned 2 months after her birth for raping a 7/8-year-old boy.
Oh.
That's probably for the best then.
Wait.
And
Dad got arrested for
raping
a boy.
Raping a boy.
That was 7-8 years old.
Yeah.
This story is already great.
And then the dad, quote unquote, commits suicide in prison.
As he should.
I mean, he was probably like...
He probably got killed.
Yeah.
Probably got outed as a kitty diddler.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we take care of that.
They do, yeah.
Diddlers
Which is great.
Yeah, so I don't know
Diddlers are the first to go.
I don't know if any of you follow a YouTube account, but there's a YouTuber I follow, Lori Lawton, I want to say his name. He is an ex-felon who was imprisoned specifically for stealing diamonds.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
that
he
guy's
was
great.
actually really good at it, but was in and out of prison for the bulk of his life, and now has a YouTube channel where he talks about prison reform. It's fantastic. I would definitely suggest
That's
you,
cool.
kind of dive into that. I love listening to him because he basically has a message of it is your job in life if you want to change it to become that better person.
Right.
It's no one else's job. It's just your own. Nonetheless, he did say it's if they find out you're diddled kids or raped women, they pretty much just beat the shit out of you until you fucking kill yourself or they kill you.
Yeah.
So is the justice system really broken?
So do we need prison
Sounds like
reform?
swift justice to me.
Man. It works.
We should probably try to avoid that happening in the first place and not put it upon them to deal out their own vigilante justice.
There is that.
But it's so much more fun to watch a vigilante.
But don't you just love watching poor people kill each other?
I mean, hell,
Batman was a
fire and
vigilante.
breadfish.
And he was a rich
Damn.
vigilante. Could you imagine?
You guys are being a bunch of fucking pussies.
So
Son of a fucking bitch.
So by age 4, her mom gives up all her kids and hands them off to the grandparents.
Just I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
giveaway.
deal with this.
And on top of that, there seems to be a history of incest within the family where it seems as though it is supported that the grandfather was actually her real father.
Oh, that's fucked.
It is, yeah.
Oh no. I thought it through. Oh no.
Yeah.
All right.
So both her grandparents, as you can imagine, aren't very good people. They're severe alcoholics and pretty much beat the shit out of her and also sexually abused her.
Naturally.
Pretty much throughout her life. And by age 11, she was committing sexual acts in her community/school in exchange for beer, cigarettes, and food. And it was apparently pretty common knowledge.
Is that where somebody coined the phrase, whose dick do I have to suck to get a beer around here?
Oh my god.
Oh, we're in for a wild ride today, boys.
Yeah, if you're not liking this, buckle in or clock
Or
out.
turn it off.
Or, just find a different podcast.
Tune
sure
in,
to
drop
like-
out,
But be sure to like and subscribe.
Okay, okay.
Maybe we shouldn't use our names in this podcast.
Okay, so by age 14, she was raped by one of her grandfather's friends and got impregnated by him. And she did, in fact, give birth to the son, and it was later given up for adoption. Yeah. By age 15, she is kicked out of her grandfather's house. And by age 16, hitchhike her way down to Florida, eventually making her way to Daytona Beach and the Orlando area.
He probably wasn't attracted to her anymore. You 15? Get out.
Oh,
I got no use for 15-year-olds.
especially she moved to Orlando
Yeah.
It's like Leonardo DiCaprio.
or Daytona.
Oh, shout out to Leo.
Look, shout out to Leo. It's not like
You're 25. You're 26. Get out of here.
Get out of
It's
here!
not like they don't know. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like teenagers.
I mean, he waits until like they're what, 18?
They're exploiting each other.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He's like 40.
It's not fine, but it's fine.
Yeah,
He's 40.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
40. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's weird,
It's weird.
but it's like, you know,
But it's legal.
but it's not necessarily immoral.
Call him Mr. Happy. You're still a child, right?
Anyway, Jamie, keep it coming with the rapes and the.
Keep it coming,
I'm
Daddy.
calling Leonardo DiCaprio Mr. Happy for the rest of mine or his life.
So,
Whichever ends sooner.
Who knows?
No word yet on if Leo or me will die first.
I mean,
but
if we keep doing this this podcast, it'll probably be me. All right, let's be honest.
okay, so she strikes it big. This is her first stroke of luck and probably her only, well, not only. This is the first stroke of luck.
she find a crate of oranges. Like what is luck to this woman?
Wow, Florida's natural.
She meets and marries a 69-year-old yacht club president. His name is
Awesome.
Louis Gratzfeld.
And she's like what, 16?
16, yeah.
By this time, she's 20-ish.
Get in.
Okay.
21.
Okay.
They married quickly, and the announcement of their nuptials was printed in a local newspaper, yada, yada, yada. And she can't hold it together. Apparently, she's going to the local bar, getting into fights pretty often, and she starts beating him. In fact, she's
beating him?
She's beating him. In fact, she was arrested for assault by beating him with his own cane.
The first.
Now, was he mean to her, or is she just beating the shit out of him?
I don't know. But he ends up getting a restraining order against her within weeks of their marriage.
Oof.
So this 69-year-old's like, she sucks my dick. This is great. Like, yeah, I'll marry her tomorrow. And then she starts beating him with his own cane. And he's like, I knew this was too good.
And she's like, the first rule of Fight Club.
How did I not see this?
Yeah, seriously.
In all my 69 years of life, you think I would have learned by now.
This is I like this one. So in July 14th, 1976, she was arrested at a bar called Bernie's Club and charged with assault and disturbing the peace for throwing a cue ball at a bartender's head.
Damn, that's a dick move.
Yeah.
Dick move.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining some guy was just like, lady, you're cut off. And he's like,
Right.
fuck you!
Fuck you, I'm cut off. You're cut off. I'll cut off your fucking head.
Reminds me
So
of that scene in Dodgeball.
Yeah.
I think that guy's dead.
this is good luck, bad luck on this one. Her brother Keith died of esophageal cancer. Bad side. Plus side is she gets $10,000 from life insurance.
Hey, 10K.
Hey.
With the money,
What
she
I would do
annulled
with
the
10K.
marriage after only 9 weeks.
IKEA.
This is kind of wild. So in August 1976, she was given a $105 fine for drunk driving.
105?
Yeah, like
When was this?
105.
This is 1976. So like,
How much is that?
I mean, but this is
Today's
back
money.
when if you were drunk driving, they would just like follow you home and make sure you got
Give you a
there.
high five.
Right.
It's like, you're drunk driving? Me too. That's awesome.
Yeah, right? Want a donut?
I got some
Fucking
coffee.
cunt.
I love that. Oh, you're drunk driving? Me too. Let's get you home.
Like
The
a
70s.
Oh, you're my daughter's first grade teacher.
So she pays off the fine and pretty much just blows through the money as quickly as she got it.
Oh, that's true. She just got 10K. So
Yeah, it's like-
$100.
Apparently, she bought like a brand new car, totaled
Yeah.
it shortly afterwards.
Nice.
That's a white trash move.
Hell yeah.
Coming to some money, you buy something shiny, ruin it.
Just fucking
I'm
wreck
like,
that shit.
I was broke before, whatever.
Yeah, right? Because it's like, what am I going to lose? I'm going to go back to where I was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fighting raccoons for pizza scraps.
Hey, man. Those motherfuckers are brutal.
They are, man.
You better watch out.
Kind of like after this, she kind of just goes on like a wild rampage. At the age of 22, she attempted suicide by shooting herself in the stomach.
Oh, that's a bad way to go.
Yeah. Survives, of course.
That's like the longest way
the
to
most
die.
painful, longest way.
That might be one of
oh, this is cool. It's going to take like 26 hours. I'm just going to lay here and go,
Serious.
you know?
In fact, between the ages of 14 and 22, she attempts suicide 6 times.
She was bad at that too.
Well, I mean, you know,
Is that good
like,
luck or bad luck?
how many times do you have to cry wolf
today? I love this. I love it.
You have to cry wolf, and then what? How, does it like implode back when you like do it
Right.
so many times?
Yeah, like does it just become habit?
Yeah, it's just like I cried wolf, and then at some point it's actually like, oh shit.
And obviously, as someone who has nothing to lose, she kind of just goes for it. In Florida, she is charged for armed robbery of a convenience store where she stole. In fact, let's take a poll real quick. How much money do you think she stole, and what do you think she stole on top of that?
I'm going to say no more than $30. Pack of cigarettes, some jerky, maybe some nuts, things that you can eat on the run or at a bus stop.
Grant, what do you got? What?
I'm going case of beer, $76.
Wait, she robbed what now?
Wait, are we doing a podcast?
I'm sorry, guys. I've been spacing.
I was seriously distracted by this really cool glass that you have here, Grant. Like, I didn't realize. Yeah. this
Okay,
is cool.
Austin, that was your answer. I'm going to count that as your answer. Who did what now?
I told you I've been off my meds for like a fucking month. It's been terrible.
Drew, what do you got?
I don't know. I think it's oh Jesus. Oh well, had a brain fart and forgot my thoughts, so we're gonna edit that one out.
Oh wait, we can't edit mine out though.
No. I wish we could, but we can't.
No.
Drew, keep going.
No, right now
Okay.
I brain farted it.
Okay, so
$100, a honey bun, and 2 packs of spearmint gum.
actually, Joseph was pretty fucking on top of it. She stole $35 and 2 packs of cigarettes.
Can I just say, it's because I know these people. I have lived with these people. I am related to these people. I know how this mind works. You're like, I got to get my smokes. There's $30. That's a whole ass like meal at Church's Chicken, baby.
I'm going to be living good this week. She was sentenced, which is kind of wild to me. She was sentenced to prison for this, for robbing a convenience store and only getting away with $35.
But she paid a fine for drunk driving.
Yeah.
Florida has like...
So she went to prison for a year.
For a year?
Yeah. And then when she got out, she was arrested again for attempting to pass forged checks at a bank in Key West. And then she was named as a suspect in the theft of a revolver and ammunition in nearby county. And then about a year after that,
wait, there's more.
she was arrested in Miami and charged with car theft, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice for providing identification bearing her aunt's name. And Miami police officers found a .38 caliber revolver and a box of ammunition in the stolen car. Yeah.
Miami Nights, baby.
But wait, there's still more.
The sheriffs detained Wuornos for questioning after a male companion accused her of pulling a gun in his car and demanding $200.
So she $200.
She probably picked up a John and was just like, hey, I know I said I was going to suck your dick, but I've got this gun.
And they can suck your dick or I can.
Actually, I really like it, but I got this gun. I don't know why, but that sounds like the greatest negotiation tactic. Yeah, I said I was going to do that.
But I have a gun.
But I have this gun.
Yeah, great. I remember I know I promised. I know I promised to help you move, but
I've got a gun.
But I got a gun. And I'm not going to do that.
Right.
No, yeah.
Okay, so another year passes, and she's now 30. And then she meets the love of her life. 24-year-old Taria Moore, who is a hotel maid at a Daytona Beach gay bar. Or she's a hotel maid, and they meet in Daytona at a gay beach bar, whatever, called Zodiac.
Wait. The love of her life. I just imagine this meeting like, I love that story about how you held this guy at gunpoint after offering to suck his dick.
And you ran into the bar looking for protection and a place to hide out the cops, and then our eyes met, and
tell me again the time that you stole $30 and a pack of cigarettes.
Store? Me too.
It was 2 packs of cigarettes.
I just felt this connection, like it was meant to be.
They had a strong connection apparently because they fell in love and moved in together really quickly. And
been there.
In this time,
we're all Eileen Wuornos in our own way.
Lee supports them with her earnings as a prostitute the whole time.
I thought you said she supported him with her oral, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, yeah."
Oh, buddy, yeah. And they get into shenanigans together, and it seems as though Taria kind of knows what's going on and is totally okay with it. She pretty much becomes like a stay-at-home wife, if you will.
Stay-at-home prostitute?
No, she's Eileen's the sex worker. She's going out.
Okay, I see.
Making that bread.
I see.
And
making that bread, flapping them cheeks. Got it.
So, Wuornos
2-step process, baby.
So eventually they get interviewed later in 1987 for questioning regarding an incident in which they were accused of assault and battery with a beer bottle. So there's obviously still a lot of
Lee and beer. I fucking.
I'm just confused at why people keep bringing up batteries when batteries ain't used in the incident. I mean, shit. I just don't get it.
One of my favorite incidents she had is she was accused. She accused a Daytona Beach bus driver of assault. She claimed that he pushed her off the bus following a confrontation. Just a person who's like picking fights anywhere she goes.
Yeah, like she's ready to go anytime.
Yeah.
The bus driver says, "I didn't commit assault. I committed a pepper."
I hate you so much.
God.
This is worse than everything Jamie's already said.
Yeah.
How I feel right now.
I wanted to bring it down so we can only go up from here.
He's just setting the bar.
Real low.
Real low.
All the way down to the flow.
Xanax bar, okay.
Okay, so now they're together, they're living together, and this is when the murders start happening.
Okay. So this is when the murders start.
Yeah. Her first murder is Richard Charles Mallory, age 51, an electric store owner in Clearwater. In the movie, it does a great job retelling her account in a very powerful and very painful method. But essentially, she's saying that she got picked up. She was essentially a prostitute that would walk highways specifically, get into the car, and then tell people basically like, oh, here's my story, and then like show pictures of her aunt's kids. And be like, these are my kids.
Oh, yeah,
I need money for this.
Classic, yeah.
I can help you if you need something, if you want to give me some money.
Right.
Just legally giving like, oh, I can help you. Like, not being able to dodge the legal ramifications.
Want some oranges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had been doing this for now, I guess, decades, really.
Yeah, she had.
By this point,
she probably had her pitch down.
Yeah. In all accounts, when she talks about it and what other people say, like she had a whole system.
And
she
survived, if you're going to survive, like living on the edge and like with just what you got with you, you got to have a system.
Definition of the American dream?
Living on the edge.
So she gets picked up by this guy, and he's like, I want to go to a secluded place. So he takes her to middle of nowhere. And she's like, gets uneasy. He apparently binds her, starts raping her, sodomizing her, and basically is planning to kill her. And he tells her that. And just no regard for her own well-being, of course. She is able to get free and kill him with his own gun.
Honestly, good for her. That's great.
There's more to the story, but we'll get into it once the trial comes up. But as she gets away with this murder and is able to get the guy's car, get all his valuables and his cash in hand, it seems as though basically she repeats this behavior because she realizes how lucrative it is.
Sure.
So in about a 12-month span, she kills these men, all ages 40 to 65.
So she's got a type.
That's quite a spree.
And back to the original question, is she a serial killer? So we have a type. Just going to put a pin in that. But
we have a type.
Technically,
we have a modus operandi.
And we have repeated behavior.
Yeah.
So her next guy, David Andrew Spears, age 47, construction worker, declared missing, and then, of course, shot dead with a... This is kind of wild. She shot him 6 times with a .22 pistol.
Bounty.
So, it definitely gives off the vibe like this isn't like a very calculated move. This is very much like an act of passion.
Sure.
Acting out and whatnot.
Yeah. And, I mean, almost understandably, she's got a lot of rage.
Yeah.
And that's pretty clear.
She definitely does.
Yeah. Next guy, age 40. Sorry. His occupation, I think, is hilarious. A part-time rodeo worker.
That's right.
A part-time rodeo worker. Nice. So that's you get all the fun of the rodeo and none of the responsibility.
Sometimes he's a garbage can. Sometimes he's a barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Who wouldn't want to be a barrel in a rodeo? Come on. I sure did.
So she apparently shot him 9 times.
Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Next guy.
Yeah.
Peter Abram Seams, age 65, retired merchant seaman.
Okay.
Also
Nice.
a comical title.
Shot
Yeah.
12 times.
Because he's a mermaid.
Merman.
Something about some semen. That's all I heard. I don't want to hear no more shit about that.
Next guy, Troy Eugene Burris, age 50.
Shot 15 times.
15 times.
This is his occupation, sausage salesman.
That's just porn. That's like he was just covering up the fact that he was shooting stag films.
I sell sausage.
Hey, you want to buy?
You're the best stepbrother ever.
Charles Richard Dick Humphreys.
I got the basket.
Age 56, retired
seaman, sausage salesman, and dick. Cool.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
All right.
This is where she royally fucks up right here. So Charles Richard Dick
here.
Humphreys, right here.
Okay.
This is where she really she might have gotten away with a lot, but here now she really fucks up. He's a retired U.S. Air Force major and a former state child abuse investigator, and former chief of police.
Oh, wow.
Wow, at least 2/3 of those things are useful.
Apparently, he was fully clothed and had been shot 7 times in the head.
In the head?
So he's a goddamn vampire.
But
7 times.
Am I hearing this right?
I do want to point out the fact that the guy who is a chief of police and also a state child abuse investigator
Yeah.
is also picking up hookers.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
I actually, what is everyone's take on sex work?
Should be legalized and protected.
Yeah, it's going to happen either way.
So, like, do you think less of this man for having that job and also partaking in sex work?
I think less of him because he's a pig, but
I mean,
I have no problem with it. Because the thing is, if you're going to protect sex workers, you should protect the consumers as well.
I assume the man was married.
Yes, all these men are married.
Then yeah.
They're all married.
Then yeah.
Yeah, the infidelity part of that
Then-
is.
Yeah, that's bad.
Then I absolutely think less of this man.
Yeah.
Like if it's some dude that's like single, doesn't want to be like married or whatever, or like you know what I mean, like
You're purposefully unattached.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right. And then you go and you purchase sex work. Do I have a problem with that? No. Would I ever do it? No. You know what I mean? But like.
But you don't have to do something to understand it and to protect it.
100%.
And people's
especially
rights.
as a very horny man who has, don't get me wrong, considered, you know, like.
Sure.
Yeah, like.
It's something you can pay someone to make you laugh. You
Right.
can pay someone to cook something for you. Why can't you pay someone to make you come?
Exactly.
Because you never know, too. There are people who have sexual trauma that might need someone who's like, listen, I have a very bad history of relationships or people are trusting the wrong person. I know you are doing this because I'm paying you money.
Right.
And I feel safe in this transactional nature. It feels
really good point.
depersonalized. This is a safe environment for me. We're not going to do anything that you don't want to do, that I don't want to do. I know how this is going to work. Here's $50 or $500 or whatever.
Right.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Both of those people should have equal protections and equal understanding.
That, real quick,
You legalize
question
it,
to you,
you
James.
tax it.
Do we know for a fact that he was going to, like, he did give her money in exchange for sex, or was he just picking up someone that was hitchhiking and trying to be nice?
It is never said for sure.
Okay.
She says, of course.
Well, she would.
Right.
Because she says that. I'm sorry, Austin. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. I mean, all I was saying is like, then it's just like her word against
theirs and their
theirs.
dead.
Right.
Which,
exactly.
you know, you could have a separate conversation about believing people who claim to have been assaulted. But she also did kill, like, what, seven
people.
Seven
Right.
people. So it's kind of
Exactly.
like she would have a reasoning for it. Did she say that all seven tried to rape her, or that she said the first one did, and then she was like, oh, this actually works?
So we'll get more into it later, but in her court case, she says that in each of these situations, each of the men tried to rape her, each of the men tried to rob her, and she killed them. It seems as though, and this is conjecture, it seems as though the first one was a situation of rape, situation of going to be murder.
Right.
I don't even want to say potential. It definitely sounds
Right.
like it's going to be murder, and the guy, we'll get more into that later. But the one reason why I ask as well is because this was covered by the news a lot.
Like the missing guys?
Yeah, it was.
The missing guys, their families and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
Because they don't report missing women.
If I remember correctly, the wife of this guy was like, this lady deserves the chair. She needs old Sparky. Yeah. Like, they wanted her dead. And that left me with, like, when I saw that part, that left me kind of confused and pondering a lot more, because all I could think was, what would you think and feel as a significant other? You know, if you have a husband who's been doing, in your eyes, so many good things for the community, and then at the end of the day, like, picking up hookers.
Yeah.
Right.
And then getting killed by one. So I've been tossing around that idea of the infidelity, of course, immoral.
Well, there's one thing about her whole story that just kind of jumps off to me, and it's the whole, like, the question that you asked is very pertinent to everything that she went through, because she did go through a lot of shit that put her in those, like, situations of, like, oh, is this self-defense? Is this murder? Is this... But she kind of sought him out, too.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, she's intentionally putting her.
So, like, she may have been like, oh, dang, stabby, stab, stab, stab. But how many times do you have to be, dang, stabby, stab, stab, before it's like, and she was mistreated. She was treated like a piece of shit in her entire life. So, like, she needed help.
Yeah.
She needed help, not some dude or whatever. She needed someone to talk to, and she just.
Well, that's the thing. If sorry. What I mean is, what I'm trying to say here is, like, between the electric chair and then maybe counsel and yeah. Because, like,
there's a middle road.
Well, no, but think about that.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But that's the question: is that what led her, or what likely led her to this point, was not even just like a few years, but an entire lifetime of abuse, and she just was confused her entire life, and like this was the only way that she knew how to get by, because she didn't have any other sort of thought process, or like any sort of just wherewithal to be like, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
She never knew what was right.
No, never.
She was never told was right. All she saw her entire life was wrong, and so she was just repeating a pattern.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
What's the saying? Like hammer on the head, hammer on the nail.
Right.
Hammer on the nail.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's just.
I mean, I imagine she probably also, like you said, she had a distorted worldview. She'd been hurt her whole life. You know, she didn't have the tools to communicate effectively or how she felt. And she probably did what a lot of serial killers do, which is I mean, she may very well have had that first, horrific encounter where she was like, I'm going to die. And then it got, and I don't want to say easier, but almost it is easier for her in her mind to work herself to the place where it's like, well, that guy did this. No. And if I get into the car with this guy, he's going to do the same. And then maybe he reaches out and maybe he touches her or something, and she's like, he's touching me now. That means the next thing he's going to do is he's going to kill me. She's working herself into that mental pattern where it's okay for me to do this because he's doing X, Y, Z, which means he's going to do that to me. Right. And maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't have.
I think like it was one of the last guys, if not the last guy, off of the documentaries that I've seen, and whatever. That she dealt with, like, dude he'd picked her up. He was there uncomfortably. Like, he was definitely not like a guy who went to sex workers all the time or anything like that. He was just kind of new to the game. Not really to any game. He didn't want
somebody who was probably
he felt uncomfortable being there.
Right.
And he felt like he had people at work telling him, oh, yeah, just pick up a hooker. Just do this. Just do that.
There's somebody who just fell into that temptation.
Right. And I mean, and he seemed like everything that I saw, like Office Space, the movie. Mm-hmm. Have you seen my stapler? Oh, he was like that guy. No, seriously, though.
Just real nervous, yeah.
Yeah. And so she puts a gun to his head.
Probably pissed himself.
And she's like, okay, yeah, I know you want me to just suck you off, kind of a deal. And he's like, no, I just wanted to be with someone.
Right.
Be with someone. Like, my wife's left me. Like,
intimacy.
And because she was in that situation, she killed him. Mm-hmm. Because she didn't want that to go anywhere.
Right.
I mean, which you really couldn't. Which, I mean, a lot of her situation, the question that you asked, was it self-defense? Was it murder? A lot of it, it's the column A, column B combination.
Yeah. Nature versus nurture.
And it's fucked.
Yeah.
But she kind of held on to it and rode with it, which is
seriously.
That was her downfall. Was just like, let go of the dragon. Don't ride it. Just one ride. Cool.
If you're asking, though, whether or not she should have been executed, I think in situations like these, and with a lot of situations with just serial killers and stuff like that, is like, there is also an opportunity to sort of study the way that their mind works so that we can have a better understanding of where it all begins. And I would say a majority of the time, I mean, I'm not going to put any sort of percentage on it. It all starts from childhood at the home. And it's just like they've had a fucked up life, and they have a lot of trauma that they have just had no way of expressing or dealing with. And so they act out because they have literally no other way to express themselves.
Yeah.
And so, and then once you sort of study those things and you start to recognize patterns, you know, when it comes to like, you know, the kids who are going to school, and you can start seeing like, hey, there's something going on here. Maybe we need to talk to this kid privately, see what's going on. You know, like, and then there's like that preventative measure. If you just kill them right then and there because you deem them as crazy, then there's no sort of like, hey, we should get to the bottom of this, and we should figure out where this all began so we can prevent this from happening again.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, like, is there ever a situation to where maybe somebody should probably be, you know, taken out of this earth? Sure, I would say maybe, but initially, like, I think that there's an opportunity to sort of figure out what's going on there, and so again, we can figure out where we can prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with certain people being put to death for certain crimes, but I'm not comfortable with the state doing it because I don't trust like that episode we did. Right. I don't trust the government to do it.
Yeah.
I don't trust the government to do anything at this point in time.
I don't think many people do.
Yeah.
Or should they?
So, she kills
Gonna build
one last
myself
man.
a bunker in the backyard.
She kills one last man, Walter Geno Antonio, age 62, trucker, security guard, and reserve police officer. Again, another police officer. So now they're hunting her super hard. And prior to that, so one of the guys she kills, like I said, his name is Peter Abram Seams, the retired merchant seaman.
Yeah.
She stole his car. And
we're all such dudes. We're just seamen.
Merchant.
What?
Seaman merchant.
So she gets apparently into this horrific.
I'll buy you splooge.
I'm a merchant of seamen.
In Seaman's car, she gets into this horrific car accident with her and her lover Tyria Moore in like someone's like front yard, and like obviously the people like.
You know, they were just like, God damn it. Like,
well, like the people,
I just seeded this lawn.
Seated?
Yeah.
Come on, we just talked about cum, man.
So, and obviously people are like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, no, we're fine, and promptly leave. And then the cops, like, of course, find like a missing man's
car,
a car, and they're
yeah.
like, what the fuck happened? And
Right.
they get like,
Come upon.
they have witnesses and descriptions of the women now.
Yeah, she looked kind of like Charlize Theron, but like bad.
So now they're able to pull everything together because they have like now her fingerprints, what region she's in, because you can't get far, who are the two women, and so apparently where they're staying at the time. On the way to where she normally hooks, there's a bar, and it's just so ironic. So I can't get over the name of this bar. The bar is called The Last Resort.
Ah, nice. That's some tasty irony right there.
Dude. So apparently she goes to this bar a couple times, and some undercover cops are there, and they were like, I gotta grab something outside. Do you want to join me? Like they somehow convince her to go outside, like for a smoke or whatever, and they arrest her right there and then. And
I got a dick you can suck outside.
Dude, what's
count me in?
What's funny?
I've been doing this my whole life.
What's kind of funny is like so many like, and this kind of goes back to like all the podcasts that do true crime. There's a lot of fear baiting in the sense of like I said, like she's the most cunning.
And that's where we come in.
She's the most evil. She's the smartest female serial killer, or like she frequents this bar the whole time. And then in an interview, when they go to the bar, they're like, and they met a guy who knew her. It's like, bro, she only came in like 5-6 times.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild to see. Like, as I do research more and more into these true crime stories, you see how much true crime actually, like, on one hand, you can say they do a good job in informing people of the dangers of society. Sure. But there's a lot of it that's just
sensationalized.
Over dramatized. You gotta sell it.
Yeah.
How else are they going to make their fucking money?
Yeah, well, they also try to make serial killers look like cunning predators that are like meticulously thinking out their crimes, like Kevin Spacey in Seven, when really they're just like Kevin Spacey in real life, and they're just doing bad shit and coming up with the worst excuses.
Right, and usually to teenage boys.
I think that's a wiener.
So on this podcast, we expose these criminals for who they are, and we sell the comedy, baby. The comedy.
Stupid dipshits that kill people and probably had horrific childhoods.
Right.
Okay.
What he said.
I'm not sure.
So you might think we're almost over this ride. No, the ride has really just begun.
Oh my God! Are you telling me that we're just at the fucking top of the fucking mountain?
We're getting to the top.
We're not even at the top.
Yeah. So, you know, while she's in police custody, she's like just over it. She's like burnt out. She's like realizing she's at the end of her rope.
I'm so tired of killing these people. I am burnt out. I have had a long career of murder and theft. I think it's time for me to retire.
Do you have any idea the arthritis you get from stabbing people? My wrists are insane.
Back
that
is
little
killing me.
It's that little twitch. I just can't get it back.
So I got these.
She just confesses to the whole thing. She's like, "Yeah, I murdered XYZ, and yeah, I did it, and yeah, I'm here. I did it all." And while she's in police custody.
I did it all. I'm sorry, that's a great line. I did it all, guys. I did it all. I think I'm ready to go now.
And she very quickly claims,
Foundation.
while in her confession, that all the men tried to rape her and she only killed them in self-defense.
Right. But you think after the third, you might just like call someone and be like, "Hey, by the way, y'all got to get these rapists under control because I'm knifing motherfuckers left and right."
I just don't get why every man I sleep with wants to kill me.
So at this point in time, this is all over the news. All over the news, and they're trying to get as much information from everybody possible, and Hollywood is eating this up. Hollywood is trying to buy out the rights for each person trying to give their side of the story. That being said, this born-again Christian named Arlene Prowl adopts Lee and says that she's her new mother. Apparently,
that's right. Now
Lee is convinced.
Just listen in.
Apparently, in an interview, Lee says that she was praying to God that someone would reach out to her and help her in this trying time. And
then here comes Arlene.
Arlene, this born-again Christian, is like, this woman needs help, and I mean,
she's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
But maybe different help.
But not her help.
Yeah, she needs psychiatric help.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So now we're getting into the first trial, the first case. So she's tried for 7 different murders.
Separately?
Separately.
Like seems like a pain
like
in
you
the ass.
should be. Come on now.
It just seems like such a
How are you
time.
supposed to get your stripes?
That's a waste of time.
So much work.
And because if I remember correctly, all the 7 murders are in different counties, different areas. So now they have to be tried in each county, each area.
All right.
She's doing a Florida tour, baby.
She is. She's really just knocking all the high points out, you know?
Pensacola, Clearwater,
So
Miami,
Orlando.
Thursday.
in the first case, she has a public defender who just fucking fumbles the entire case. And they were unable to prove that she acted in self-defense. In fact, it came out afterwards. She, in the end, was put to put to death by lethal injection.
Okay. Yeah.
But it came out afterwards that the guy Mallory that she first killed actually was facing a rape charge in a different state at the time.
Oh, this was the first one.
This was the first one.
The one that she.
And so now, looking back, it's very easy to tell that the first real serial killer in this story is Mallory.
Right.
Was he a serial killer or a serial rapist?
Both.
Did he kill anyone? You said he was on trial for
a rape case, but he was planning to kill her. It seemed like he had all the tools. He had the gun. But
he didn't.
He was trying to.
The remote location. I mean, like, if you're bringing some.
Are we talking about Eileen or the one from the other state you were talking about?
Mallory, the first guy she killed.
Yeah, the first guy. You said he had a pending rape case, but did he have all his gear and stuff, or do you think that was like a warm up? You know, because they don't go straight to killing people. They usually do warm up runs. So you think that might have been his warm up to and then Eileen was the one that he was the first one he was going to kill.
But she was also brought to a remote location. You know, if you bring somebody out there and you tie him up, I mean, like, it's freaking math.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He probably was going. He probably was going to kill Eileen, but maybe the first girl.
I'm taking an algebra class right now, man. Let me tell you, like, I am seeing the letters,
seeing the patterns.
Yeah.
No. This dude, I'm going to go ahead and bet this wasn't going to be his first murder.
Let's just say that's conjecture, though.
That is conjecture.
Sure.
And so in my conjecture,
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
She went Dexter on this guy. She's the serial killer technical serial killer that killed a serial killer.
Yep.
So I think she net good on that one. Now the other 6, it does not seem to align with everything else. That one has the most telling, where she is open about it and being like, he tied me up, he raped me. And was planning to kill me, and was open about it and telling me that he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
I was only lucky to get out of it and kill him instead.
Yeah, she fucked up after that first one.
If only because she's telling it, I take it with a slight grain of salt, because, again, she would, you know. Sure. But, again, with the, pending rape case in another state or county, I mean, you know, I'm more leaning towards believing her on the first one.
Yeah. I mean, he essentially forced her to cross that line, and I mean,
and then she was like, "Oh yeah,
of it.
I can do this."
Once you cross that line, you know, very hard to.
There's no going back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah. She didn't give a fuck. If you cross the line, you're fucked.
Yeah,
that's the way that was with her.
So,
I mean, straight up.
After she loses that case, she's pissed.
She gets convicted.
She was convicted for that first case, and she's about to go into her second case. She fires her public defender and then gets a new lawyer. And this lawyer, his name is Stephen Glazer. I want you to imagine...
Glazer.
Pew, 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 pew.
More like Glazer.
This guy, Stephen Glazer.
I hardly know her.
I chose to not make that joke.
Well, you went a different way.
This is the difference between you and me, Grant. You sit over there, and I act.
Okay,
I act upon my urges, Grant.
So I want you to imagine Bob Ross gaining 50 pounds.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Who's
Wonderful.
also
Wonderful.
a deadhead alcoholic.
Okay.
And this is her lawyer?
And to paint a better picture, he's also, what's it called? He is a failed musician.
Nice.
Who is one of those lawyers from the early 90s that would have commercials saying like, do you need representation? I'm here to help you. And like that was him. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a firm. It was just him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this guy's awesome.
Alexander Shananananana.
So
Yeah.
he's just a squirrely sack of shit, really. And
the best types of shit.
he starts basically being her lawyer, and then also he starts working with her new mom, Arlene, and becomes her quote-unquote lawyer/agent. And like I said,
fuck this guy.
Hollywood,
hype guy.
pretty much.
Straight up.
Like I said, Hollywood is all over this. So people are trying
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
So like
that was a prominent song.
all of Hollywood, all the news outlets are trying to get the rights to talk to these people and get the inside scoop. And so one of the best documentaries on this is done by a British documentarian called Nick Broomfield. He does a great job. He covers this in great detail, interviewing a lot of people, specifically on the case itself, not necessarily the murders. Mm-hmm. And he's just a shitbag. Like, Broomfield basically comes in and he's like, I want to hear like the truth about everything. Not trying to be a dickbag about everything. He's just wanting to hear everyone's story. And then Arlene's like, I would love to tell you everything, but Glazer here says I shouldn't talk too much. So like, you need to talk to him first. And he basically says, $25K. You give me $25,000, she'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
And Broomfield's just like, not happening. Like in the interview or in the documentary, he does a much better job, but it's obvious he's just like, we're not paying you $25,000.
Yeah.
In the end, I think they settled for $10K, which is still pretty wild. But
yeah,
what's funny is it's on film when he gives him the $10,000 in cash. And it's just like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like, why did you allow that to be filmed? Because, like, he hands him the $10,000 and Glazer's just like, he gets all giddy. He's like, woo, this worked. Holy shit.
At least all these murders worked out for something.
Hey, if somebody's going to get paid, it might as well be me, right? Because this Lee girl, I don't think she's got a dime.
So if you want to watch a documentary, it's called...
She is guilty as shit. So I got to get my money while I can.
Right, exactly. I'm not winning this case.
We've already lost one.
Right.
What am I going to do? Come back and win this one?
Right.
She's still convicted for murder.
Right. We lost the sure win.
Dude, it gets... it's worse than you think.
Where are we with the mountain reference? Have we gotten to the top, or are we still climbing?
We're in the top. Right
Okay,
now. We're here.
So we're about to crash down.
We're about to crash.
So
down.
like, if you want to watch a documentary, it's fantastic. It's called Lee Wuornos, The Selling of a Serial Killer. It's fantastic. It definitely dives deep into how corrupt the judicial system was, especially at that time, is really, but how corrupt it was and how horrific the cases were, how a lot of it wasn't taken seriously and sensationalized and sold. But where was I at?
Y'all ready for this?
Yeah, y'all ready for this?
That's right. Sorry, guys.
Okay, so Arlene convinces Lee to basically say, I did it, and say no contest to the rest of the murders. And Glazer pretty much is just like, yeah, you should do that. And like in an interview,
Great lawyer.
in the documentary, he's just like, yeah, I don't have the tools to really like make a case.
I mean, I'm like technically a lawyer or whatever, but like, do you know the amount of paperwork I'm gonna have to do? Just say you did it.
Yeah. Just go.
So
I already got my 10 grand.
Yeah, seriously.
Right. Fuck this guy.
The state's gonna write me a check for $200 for defending you, and I got $10K. So like, I made out like a bandit.
So
on
I got
this.
$10,200. Taking it straight to the bank, baby.
So Lee is finally starting to realize what's going on in the middle of all this. In fact, she was quoted in an interview saying, "You sabotaged my ass, society and the cops and the system. A raped woman got executed and was used for books and movies and shit." And
Preach it.
That's
it's the epic truth.
that is probably the most coherent thing she's probably ever said in her fucking life.
You're probably absolutely right about that.
Right.
And-
like,
and-
goddamn.
and then
That cuts.
her. This is I respect her so much for this. Her final on-camera words were, "Thanks a lot, society, for railroading my ass."
I mean, she did
It's-
kill 6 other guys that probably did.
Right. But I mean,
She
she's
didn't be
she's
removed from
absolutely
society,
right
but
about
she
how.
was massively taken advantage.
She was coherent
Absolutely. Absolutely.
for a minute.
The fact that Hollywood got involved and like
Oh yeah, a bunch of vultures.
fucking despicable, really.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, Mike Reynolds, a writer, wrote about Lee in a book titled Dead Ends. In an interview, said this about Lee. Lee's life was pretty much, she had run out. As a prostitute, she was never very successful. She never put much effort into it. Lee never put enough effort into her crimes or her crimes prior to that. She didn't have much commodity out there. She was overweight. She was beery. She never dressed as a prostitute, never wore makeup, wore cutoffs, camo t-shirt, and a cap and glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Standing on the side of the road.
Wait.
And her hustle was she wasn't soliciting. She would get in the car and gauge her situation. She would say, "You know, these are my kids here." Well, they were Laurie Grody's children, her aunt's sister's children, and give them a song and dance to them. "I'll need some money. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you what I'll do this for you. You know, we can do this over here in the woods, and I'll do this to you." She was running out of options, which is, from my perception, wonderfully portrayed in the movie Monster, where you see a woman constantly running out of options.
Yeah.
And another reason why a lot of this case was mishandled was it came out later after a lot of the trial was about 6 different police officers / lawyers, people handling the case, all were getting paid under the table by different Hollywood producers
Oh, Jesus Christ.
because each of them wanted a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one guy tried to talk about it. And this is pretty much what happened. Sergeant Brian Jarvis Marion, County Police Force, led the murder investigation, who was demoted to Patrol Division when he found out Tyria Moore, Captain Vinegar, Sergeant Munster, and Major Dan Henry were in movie discussions with Tyria Moore prior to Lee's arrest. Many say that Tyria, was not indicted on any charges because she worked with these police officers and became the key witness to the case.
That makes sense.
So basically, a lot of money came into the situation. And even though Tyria should have been linked as an accessory to pretty much all of these crimes, because she had movie discussions tied with the police officers, was able to walk away scotch-free. She had no files charged against her and basically just milked Lee for everything she had.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then watched her die. In fact, Lee still said to her dying day, before she was injected, that Tyria was still the love of her life. And again, Sergeant Brian Jarvis was probably the only good person in all of this.
Sounds like it,
in
yeah.
which like he realized that this was insanely corrupt and tried to get that out, and then was quickly demoted because of that, and in fact quit the force.
The fuck?
Did this documentary, and in the documentary, I believe he said he was now just a private investigator, still using the tools that he had. So maybe not all cops are bastards.
No, all cops are bastards. He stopped being a cop. Because he was like, these guys are bastards. You just proved my point again. Every time.
So, quick cop story. I'm a firm believer that not all cops are bastards, but like all cops just happen to be bastards. So
wait, what?
So okay, like I just keep having situations when I keep having to deal with cops, and I'm just like, why are you being a bastard about this? So like the other day, I'm like hanging out. I spent the night at a friend's house. Our buddy James.
Yeah. You'll probably hear him on the podcast at some point.
Yeah. So
Hear his dick dragging across the ground as he gets up to his mic.
I mean,
that's
the only reason why he's not here. He's still dragging it.
Yeah, Big Dick James. Anyway,
what?
We'll tell you about it later.
Help.
We'll show you later.
We'll show you later.
He lives in Germantown, which has terrible parking.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
It's god awful. I park, and I'm just hoping that I don't get towed. I think I parked in a good spot. Then the morning after, I'm walking to my car. I see a tow truck right by my car. I'm like, fuck. And I was like, there's no reason to run. If they're gonna tow me, they're gonna tow me. Like, there's nothing I can do. So I'm just like walking, and I see they're just towing other people. People had parked like literally like in the way of a railroad. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And there's cops over there, and the cops are dressed as cops, but they're wearing like vests saying like Department of Transportation, and they're parked in the middle of the street. Kind of weird. But I was like, oh, whatever. And they're blocking me from getting out. And I can just like, I sit there for a minute, I give them some time, but they're not moving. It's been like 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, I can kind of like inch my way out of here.
Wiggle.
Yeah. So I'm like wiggling out, and I'm about like, I finally get to a position where I can drive off, and I hear from like behind me, I hear like, you hit me. And I was like, what the fuck? And like the cop's like, don't move, you hit me. And
what the fuck?
Like, all right, put the car in park. I step out, and I'm like, what's going on? She's like, you hit my car. And I'm like, no, I didn't. If you hit a car, like your car is gonna like jolt. You're gonna
know. Yeah.
And she was like, you hit my car. And I was like, where did I hit your car? And she points to her side mirror. And there is literally a like penny-sized coin slot. Like it like quarter of an inch scratch of like my Jeep is teal. So it's like white car. So you see like this tiny little scratch of teal on this side mirror. And she's like, you hit me there. And I'm like, what? And I lick my finger and I start rubbing it.
Right? Yeah, look at this shit coming off.
The other like there's two cops, both female, and one of the females like grabs me and she's like, sir, please stop. And I was like, all right. And I was like, really, this shouldn't even be a thing. I'm sorry, but like you are illegally parked. And she was like, you're not even supposed to be driving. I was like, what are you talking about? And she points to my tags. My tags are over a year expired. Like a year and 3 months.
Yeah, well.
Got you.
And I'm like, fuck.
Come on.
And she's just like, and I'm going to call my sergeant. And she like takes a picture, and I'm like, fuck, I'm so fucking fucked. And I don't have insurance either. So I'm like, I'm fucking fucked.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And so I'm like trying to like fuck with their heads. So I'm like taking pictures of like their car, looking up their badges and taking pictures. And I'm just like, you know what? If you're going to take me down, I'm going to be a fucking asshole the whole way through. And, I have to take pictures. I just kind of sit there and I'm just like, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. And she gets off the phone. I can tell she's like pissed. And I'm like, then I'm fucked. She walks over to me and I was like, okay, what's the word? It's like, my sergeant says to let you go.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, word?
Oh, shit. Right?
Word to your mother.
Wait, who?
And she's like, I just need a picture of your ID. And I was like, am I going to get a ticket in the mail or anything? And she's like, no, you're not. And I was like, cool. And I am speeding out of there. I'm just like, I don't want a cop to pull me over for like expired tags. I just get the fuck out of there. But all I can think of is just like, why'd you have to do some bastard shit like that? Like,
I imagine the sergeant was over the phone like, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you wasting my time right now?
Shut the fuck up. And it's just like, click. And then she comes over. It's like, said to let you go.
And it's just his playing like Wii Sports.
Right.
But yeah, I keep having instances like that where I'm just like, man, why'd you? If you're just cool for 10 fucking seconds, you're like, oh, dude, I got some white nail polish in my bag. I can take care of it.
Right.
Sure.
Because like that's the thing. Like think about it. Like if it was like some other person that like was just happening to be parked behind you, and you accidentally do a little bump, and you go outside, and they're like, we're good. Like that's all it would have been. That's all it would have been.
Right.
Unless it was like some Karen with their fucking bob head haircut who's looking to get all the money out of you. Which, by the way, I think Karens are worse than fucking cops these days. I keep seeing videos pop up, and they're just fucking.
They're in connection with each other.
The Karens are married to the cops.
They are. You're not wrong. And like they want that citizen's arrest too.
Oh, that's right.
Karens and their citizen arrest, man.
Oh, well, I'm a sovereign citizen of this state, and I'm going to hold you here because I don't like what you said.
Right.
Ooh, Joseph, I don't want to open a wound, but you have a story about cops.
Oh yeah, I do.
Would you mind?
I mean, so basically, like a couple weeks, maybe a month ago, however long ago, not super far away ago, I was walking Ginger. Ginger is one of my dogs. She is a 12-year-old Rottweiler, so she is slow.
Right.
I mean, she's
got dangles.
She does got dangles. I call them her Christmas ornaments.
Nice.
Because she's old and falling apart. But she's a very sweet dog.
I want you to think like, when like you hear like, my dog ran away. This dog can't run away.
Right.
Yeah.
She is sweet. But she's built like a tank.
Yeah.
But she's got arthritis. So she just makes her way downtown very
she doesn't
slowly.
just walk. This dog walks.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm walking her in my neighborhood where I've walked her for every day for like 3 years or whatever. And I get to this one part and I've got my headphones on. This is when it was cold and I had like my jacket on and everything. And I've got like all my hands like, like in my pockets. Ginger doesn't give a shit. Right. She's huge. She's just like, whatever. It could be literally, there could be a tornado outside and she's like, I want my walkies, like, so I'm just like walking Ginger in this freezing ass wind. This fucking cop car just pulls up, and it's a two-way street. Like when you get to my neighborhood, 2 lanes. Yeah, pretty narrow street.
Right.
Just pulls screeching up, takes up one of the lanes, and this cop gets out and like ahead of me and walks over to the sidewalk, and I'm like, huh, and I'm also high.
Yeah,
because
right.
It's the afternoon.
Because you should.
I'm off work. I've done all my chores.
Right.
So I'm just like, oh, that's weird. Oh, why'd that guy stop? Oh, he's looking at me. Like, I'm like still walking the dog and I'm like, he's not moving and he's looking right at me. And he's like, hey, you Hunter? I was like, no, I'm not. He's like, you're not Hunter. You're not Hunter, whatever, Wheeler or whatever. I'm like, no. He's like, you sure? I'm like, no. Yeah, man. I mean, I think I know my name. Right? And he's like, and he just keeps looking at me. And I like get to the point where I'm like close enough to him that I'm like, I'm gonna walk past, and then he kind of like puts his arm out, and he's got like his hand on his on his gun, and he's just he's like, it's just crazy because like you just look so much like this dude. And I'm like, well, I'm walking my dog. I don't know what to tell you. And then this other cop car pulls up behind him like they do, and this other guy gets out, and it's this fucking like. He looks like a gym teacher. They all do, but you know what I mean. Shaved head, kind of like a fat neck deposit going on. He's like, hey, you Hunter? And I'm like, no, I was just explaining to your dude here that I'm not Hunter. And he's like, okay, you're not. And I'm like, no, man, I'm not Hunter. And then he's like, okay, cool. You got your ID with you? I'm like, no, I don't have my ID because I'm just walking my dog, which Jaime later informed me that like apparently it's Tennessee state law. You have to have an ID on you at all times, which I think is fucking horseshit.
What?
Yeah, if you don't have an ID on you, you can go to jail.
Right.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I still don't carry my license when I walk my dogs because I think it's a stupid fucking rule and I'm not participating in it.
Right.
Anyway, whatever.
Technically, Tennessee, if you remember correctly, in New York City during Giuliani, there was a stop and frisk law.
Yeah.
Pretty much Tennessee, without having a stop and frisk law, has a stop and frisk law.
Right. Like it's not put in those same terms, but it amounts to the same thing.
Yeah. Like if a cop like stops you and is like, says, I think you're this person, or I think you're committing a crime or about to commit a crime.
Right.
And whatever term they want to put that in to a judge, they can stop you, ask for an ID. And if you don't have one, you can go to jail. They can take you.
That's crazy.
That's fucked.
Which I didn't know that at the time, which is, probably good because I was already kind of like freaking out a little bit. And then he like walks over and then he's got his hand on his gun and they're just both like, yeah, there's this guy Hunter who like, he's just walking around. He may or may not have a weapon and he wants to hurt himself. We think he might hurt some other people. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, so you guys got a call about someone who's suicidal, who's walking around with a gun, which admittedly can turn into a dangerous situation, and your first instinct is to get out and possibly shoot this dude. Fuck both of you.
Right.
Fuck your entire system.
Right.
You guys can't be fucking like reformed. Anyway, but the point is, so he's there, and then they're both keep saying like, oh, you're, and then this other cop shows up, and he's like, where you live at? And I'm like, here's my address, because I'm not going to dox myself on this podcast. And I'm like, here's my address, and he's like, okay, hold on. And then he gets in, and they're just both looking at me, and then I realize like they're getting closer to me, and like my hands are in my pockets, and so I realize that, and I'm like, oh. Very slowly just take him out and like put him by my side. And Ginger, God bless her. This fucking good dog, man. She like, I'm sure she picked up on like the fact that it's like, oh, Dad's freaking out, and she kind of like got a little like raised her hackles up, and I was just like, I'm so fucking proud of you, but don't make these fucking things shoot you. Like, I love you so much. So I like kind of like pull her back a little bit, and they're like, oh, is your dog aggressive? I'm like, she's 12. Like she is almost 90 in human years.
Right.
She's struggling to stand up, but yeah, she's still fucking standing up to you. Anyway, love that dog so much. God. Anyway, and then like finally they like look it up and all
this
that
is
shit.
how I go out. This is how I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm taking you with me.
Right.
But yeah, then they finally look it up and they're just like, oh yeah, you're not Hunter, and I'm like, yeah.
No.
Could have
what I was
saved
saying.
me 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then they're just like, all right, well, we got to be careful, Anyway, later, and then they just fucking take off, and I'm just like, okay, so out of nowhere, I just entered a situation where it's like, and of course, that's not even like a horrific interaction with a cop like a lot of people have. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's also just like that headspace I was in of just being like, yeah, there for a minute, my rights were forfeited. Like if they wanted my ass,
you were
they
surrounded,
had my ass.
dude.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. It's like, all it would have taken is like, nope, my name's Joseph. I live over here.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And even with that,
right.
it still was like a whole thing.
Exactly.
And it's just like, yeah, so like you mean to tell me there's a system in place that just automatically discounts my rights as a person when the people who are in charge of enforcing the laws suddenly decide, oh, this guy fits the description, or this guy was doing something we didn't like, or this guy was doing something illegal, that doesn't warrant a death sentence. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
that was my most recent interaction with the police.
The hand on the hip thing, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Come on. The guy's walking his fucking dog. You're going to put your hand on your gun.
And then it's going to take 3 of you.
Right.
You fucking pussies.
Right.
Like, you're the ones with the guns and all the fucking like civil protections.
Whenever, and the thing is, it's like whenever we talk about police officers, like I have a bit of a sympathy towards them because my grandfather was a police officer. And like, dude, like there's a dark side to humans that, they see every single day. And I understand where maybe their sort of bastardness comes from in a sense. But when it comes to shit like that, they also should remember that like, hey, most of us, if not like 95% of us are just trying to get by. We're just trying to walk our dogs. We're just trying to fucking live our lives. Like, let's calm down a bit, you know?
Yeah, really.
Let's calm down.
So Joseph called me shortly after this.
I did.
And as you can imagine, he was pretty manic. He was just.
I was a little bit.
Yeah, it was just like, so I went through this thing. I need to talk to someone right now.
Yeah, because Sarah was like at working late or something. So I was like, I'm going home to an empty house. I need to call someone right now and talk about this, you know?
Sure.
But he calls me, and I think my first interaction was like, I can only hope that this guy named Hunter is just a white guy with tattoos.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
They were like, you look a lot like Hunter. You mean a white guy with tattoos? Yeah.
I also made the joke that I was like, I want to know how they described Hunter so I can be either offended or like, or like,
get it.
Yeah. Or be like, well, I'm a little complimented. You know, if they were just like, yeah, there's a tall blonde dude with a lot of tattoos. He's well built. He's like walking around and be like, well, you know, cool. I was just like, yeah, there's some Hunter guy, some Uggo just walking around. You know, we're not sure, you know, he's got a real fucked up face. And it's just like, hey, you Hunter? I'm like,
Ow.
Hey, you with the fucked up face.
listen, you guys can execute me, but don't hurt my feelings.
We're looking for a white male named Hunter, somewhere between 5'2" and 6'6". Tattoos, we're not sure how many, but he has them.
Or of what? You know what I mean? Because it could just very easily be like, yeah, he's got this eagle tattoo.
We're
and
looking
it's like,
for we're looking for Hunter. He's about 6'6", tall, blonde, handsome. Got a
Piercing blue eyes.
just somebody that you'd want to take home to your mama.
Someone who think, you know, who'll protect you, but also cuddle you at the end of the night after a long day.
But currently could be suicidal.
But also is killing everyone. You know? He has killed literally everyone watching this right now. I'm sorry, we don't even have a reason to broadcast it.
I don't remember if it was Jamie, but like we also brought up that it was like, thank fucking God it was cold outside, because if it was like hot, I could have been in a tank top with just my ACAB tattoo out.
Oh,
like,
that was you. Yeah, you said that. Like, thank God.
that would not have helped.
Oh man,
Wouldn't have.
Are you Hunter? No,
gonna-
we're gonna beat your ass.
I have a feeling that we're gonna get so much backlash from active duty police officers if they listen to podcasts.
Hey, if you guys are listening, fuck you.
Hang on. The cops listen to true crime podcasts? Because I don't think that's the demographic.
That would be hilarious.
No, right?
Maybe
I gotta
this
do
will
my
give
homework.
me tips on how to solve all them crimes.
Could you imagine, like some officer on duty listening to like crime junkies?
Well, like, you know, from what I've heard
I love Brit.
and the research I've done about true crime
Shout out
podcasts,
to crime junkies, by the way. Let's collab.
most true crime podcasts pretty much highlight cops dropping the ball.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's
Right.
like the detectives didn't piece this together, or like the cops didn't interview the number one prime suspect.
I mean, I would
just
imagine
straight
there's
up
some
ignored
cops
it.
out there just like, God, I would have gotten that one. Come on.
Oh shit! It was the husband. Damn! I thought that for a second and I let it go. It was just a fleeting feeling.
Right.
I should have thought about that one.
I would love to collab with crime junkies. That'd be so much fun. They're all the way out in Indianapolis.
But I think that's the end of our episode.
Oh, well, shit.
I think it was a good one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, that was fun.
Well,
I'm glad
Fun.
that was fun for you.
Fun for us, not so much for Lee.
Lee, yeah, she did. She
went through the ringer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He did.
she did.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for telling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your evening or your night or your morning with us. Here.
Oh, I want to end on this loving, powerful note. It's something I've been going through the ringer myself most recently and processing a lot of my own trauma and my own pain and thinking about what I want to do with my life, what I want out of it. And there's something that really rung true with me. And it's the question, is it the journey or is it the destination? And the answer is the company you keep.
Hey.
Nice. That's good.
And I'm very happy with the company I'm keeping right now. Thank you,
Like
guys.
our own fellowship of the ring over here.
So, thank you. I hope those words ring true for all the listeners out there.
You're taking me home tonight, aren't you?
Oh, baby. Leave a comment.
Looking for that sweet love.
If that rings true with you.
Or leave a comment if you think Lee Wuornos was a serial killer.
And also,
actually, hang on. Do you?
that's right. We forgot to ask.
Yes, I do think she was a serial killer.
Yeah,
I think yes.
I think that she, at first, she was defending her own, like, whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, she led it into a pattern of she was a fucking serial killer. Yeah. She got her joy out of it. The last person she fucking killed, she felt bad about. And she talked about it, that she felt bad about it because this was a guy like, have you seen my stapler? And wasn't fucking trying to he was just trying to be there. And she saw that and she was just like, went off on him like, oh, you're trying to fuck with my femininity and everything. And he was just like, what the fucking what? Mm-hmm. And at this point, she was just past it. And so she just fucking killed him.
Sure.
And so, yes, she is a serial killer. She did have red flags, warnings that people could have jumped on and helped her out before to where she would not have been there. But no one did thus far. She is psycho-ass bitch.
I think she was a serial killer that confused herself as a vigilante.
I agree.
Actually, yeah.
100%, actually.
Yeah. Good. That's very apt.
Yeah.
Boom. Score 2 for Austin.
Boom.
Who's keeping score, baby?
Austin.
This guy.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And the book of mysteries closes on our heroes. Until next time, my fellow wanderer, my kindred spirit in the graveyard, we had some laughs, some scares, and maybe even learned a thing or two. Think of us for your next podcast listening pleasure. Think of us when you go to sleep and when you fondle yourself at night. If you like what you hear, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want us to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. I don't understand. You just told them to email them, yet your email says do not email them. You brought me up from the dead for this, and let me guess, you're gonna put me right back down into the grave.